Hey guys, it's Delisa Robinson with Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo. Today's presentation of Wholesaling Real Estate Mini Bootcamp Session 2. Now in this session, we're going to talk about buyers and sellers and what they need and what they expect and things like that. So without further ado, let me do a brief introduction of me, my business, what we do over here at Tag 716. I am Delisa Robinson, CEO and owner of Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo. We are a full-service real estate investment firm where we do real estate sales, both retail and wholesale. Retail is on the market, wholesale is off market. We do investments where we have invested people's money with us and gave them a return on their investment, and we've invested with other people and gotten a return on our investment. We also do investment lending, which is hard money lending originations, portfolio building and management, sales, and business consulting. We also do a large portion of our business over social media with our social media marketing. We get a lot of our leads that way. In our extended boot camp, we go into that much further. I've been out here in these real estate streets building and developing a portfolio for over 22 years. And now my job is to share the knowledge that I've obtained and hopefully keep you guys from making the same mistakes that I did make, because I made them. Sometimes I still make them. So we're just going to get started. Who should be on your team? That's the first thing we're going to talk about. And if you've gone to any of my other online courses, or you've heard me speak live, or you've attended one of our sessions when we've been somewhere near you speaking, you will always hear me say teamwork. Team is a common thread in any real estate business, in any business regardless. You can't do a business by yourself because you cannot be in more than one place at a time, unless you're an identical twin. Even then, it's not you, it's a twin. So carry on. Who should be on your team? As a wholesaler, who should be on your team? When you're building a team, first of all, it's important to add people with a work ethic that matches or exceeds yours. I'll say it again, matches or exceeds your work ethic. Because if two lazy people go in business and they're working together, what's going to get done? Nothing. If one highly motivated person and another highly motivated person get into business, what's going to happen? Oftentimes, some chaos, some confusion, because each person wants to be the boss. So you have to have an even keel. You have to make sure that your team's strengths and weaknesses offset your strengths and weaknesses so that the team continues to run and build. You have to be willing to listen to your teammates. Your teammates aren't working for you, they're working with you. Yes, they may be your employees. Yes, you may pay them a paycheck, but they still work with you. They still are instrumental in helping you make decisions. So you have to be very open to hearing constructive criticism. And people say that is a bad thing. If you can't take constructive criticism, get out of business, because you are going to have customers, clients, bosses, staff, everybody's going to criticize what you do. So if you can't take it, you don't have thick skin, get out of business. Notice I just didn't say real estate, any business. You have to have a thick skin. And yes, you are going to have bad days. I mean, let's be clear, I'm having one right now, but I'm still here and I'm still going to deliver everything I need to deliver to you. And to explain the bad day, I just got some really bad news about a flip that I'm doing, and it's going to cost me. So yeah, that's where we are. So who you choose to be on your team is essential to the success of your team. So who's your tribe? Who are you going to pick to be your right-hand person? Who are you going to pick to bounce ideas off of? You cannot pick a team of yes ma'am, no ma'am people. You have to pick a team that is going to call you on your BS. You have to, because if you do not, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be the only one making decisions, and your decision and your opinion is not always the best one. So you have to listen to your team. I'll give you a perfect example of listening to your team. Last week, I actually called one of my team members to ask for help. I said, hey, we need to do something to get our wholesale network up and running and get it smoothed out. What's the process? When I tell you, Kristen came up with the most brilliant idea I've ever had, and I give her credit for it all the time. She came up with an amazing idea. My network is happy so far. Now we're working out the kinks. And that's the thing, you have to be flexible. In this business, your team has to be flexible. You cannot have a rigid person in business because things don't always happen when they're supposed to. So know your people and who are going to be on your team. Explain to them what you want them to do. Ask them what are their expectations of you. And what you explain to them what your expectations of them are so that everybody's on the same page and things get done and nothing gets left laying on the side of the road when it could have been up front and center in your business. So let's talk about who's your tribe. Who's your tribe? Like this young lady in the picture, she's calling. She said, hey, I'm building this kick-ass new team and I want you. But do you really want everybody? Not all the time, but let's see who you need. You're going to need an attorney or a title company, depending on what state you're in. Now, they're going to review all your contracts, order your title searches, counsel you on the do's and don'ts of the law and all transactions. They're basically going to keep you out of an orange jumpsuit. That's what your attorney is there for. They're there to help you negotiate. They're there to push your interest, which is why you should have an attorney. Okay? You're going to need a licensed real estate agent on your team. And people say, well, wholesalers and real estate agents, they're in competition. No, sweetie, they're in collaboration. The ones making the most money, they collaborate together. And you need to get on board with that idea of collaboration, not competition. This is not a competition. This is not, you don't compete with your real estate agent. You partner with them, you collaborate with them so that both of you guys can make a ton of money. That's what you do. I am a licensed New York State real estate salesperson. And you know what? My first experience with wholesaling was partnering with a wholesaler. She called me about one of my listings. And I said, wait a minute, you can't wholesale because this was me being new in wholesaling. You can't wholesale MLS. She, oh, yes, you can. Let me show you how. She showed me how. Get what I'm saying? So now when I have a listing, when I have anything, I'll call that agent. Hey, I have this a house. They want me to list it, but it's not even worth listing because they're not going to get the money they want for it. Any of your people want it, and she will wholesale it. Do I get a fee off that? No, I don't. But guess what's happening when she has a wholesale deal, or when her clients need to sell a house that they've just finished renovating? She calls me and I list it. See how that works? Your real estate agent can run your comps for you. Something you don't know how to do normally when you're just starting out in this business, but a real estate agent can teach you that. I know two girls in Atlanta, one's a wholesaler, one's a real estate agent. The real estate agent convinced the other girl, get your license. Let's partner up and do this the right way. So now they're partnering left and right. And they're killing this game called real estate. So let your real estate agent find and sell properties, assist you with the marketing. They'll tell you what to price it. They'll help you with your ARV. When you go to flip it, when your clients go to flip it, they'll consult with your clients and help them with the staging and what renovations need to be done on the property. And they also assist in finding you buyers and sellers. So partner up with your real estate agent. It's not a competition. And for you real estate agents out there that are sneaking on here and watching this video later on when I can't see you, that's great. I don't care. I'm good with that. But understand that wholesalers are not out here taking your jobs, because the last time I checked, you weren't trying to list a bunch of distressed houses in the neighborhood. Most real estate agents want the big, beautiful, glamorous house that's already done because they get higher commission on that. So you're not in competition with the wholesaler. You should work with your wholesaler or have your wholesaler work with you. Now, your general contractor. As a wholesaler, you're going to need a general contractor, a friendly one. Let me tell you why. You're going to need a friendly contractor. Now, they're going to go with you when you go see properties and tell you how long the furnace is going to last. They're going to say, hey, this furnace is on its last leg. It's not going to last that long. They're going to say, oh, this roof needs to be done. Oh, it costs about this much to get it done. They're going to help you negotiate your price when you go to look at a house to purchase. You're going to pay them back because you're going to refer them as a contractor who gave the estimate to your investor. If your investor doesn't have a contractor, what if your investor is out of town? That happens a lot where you have out of town investors. Now, I have a few investors that are all out of town. And they would love, love, love nothing more than for me to find them a contractor. Who am I going to refer? The guy who gave me the ARV from the beginning, who helped me to negotiate the deal from the beginning. That's who I'm going to do. The guy or the girl, because there are a lot of girl contractors out there. And I'm still looking for an all-girl construction crew. So please, 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 if you can, help me out. But let them do this. They can also bring deals to you. Like, hey, I know this lady, she's trying to sell this house. You know anybody can want it? And what you do, yeah, what do you want out of the deal? And you split, you give them, if they say, oh, just give me a finder's fee. If you make $5,000, why wouldn't $500 to your contractor be a nice little push? Or even $1,000. Why wouldn't that be a nice little push for you? If you made 10 grand off of a deal they gave you, you don't think giving them $1,000 would be okay? Or even $2,000? Why not? Let them do the hard part for you. The hard part is going to be finding some houses. I mean, a lot of people are, instead of being in collaboration with your real estate agent or your general contractors, or anybody for that matter, you guys are so stuck on the competition. You got to change your mindset when it comes to this real estate game. You have to collaborate. Now let's see who else is going to be a part of our tribe. The lender. You need to get in with a very, very good lender, a bank, a money person. This is your money person. You need to be able to refer your clients to them. Let you be the source. Hey, I got a good person. I have a mortgage broker. I have a hard money lender. I have a private lender who's lending private money. You need to know who those people are. Those people are going to be able to tell you, hey, guess what? This ran on this. And guess what? Your lenders, they have the same people on their team that you do. They have other real estate agents that they're working with. They might be able to get you a free estimate. Hey, can you call this person? Oh, no, I got a contractor in that area. Let me see if they'll go over there and give an estimate for you. Want to know why? Because they want that business. Lenders are not just people pushing numbers behind a desk. They're very active in your deal. You have to be active with them. Then you're going to have your accountant. Now, here's the thing. Your accountant, you're going to act as, sometimes you're going to do this yourself until you get big enough. But you're going to need a bookkeeper. An accountant does the bookkeeping, the budget organization, tax consulting, and the financial reporting. They do all that. They also keep you out of the orange jumpsuit. Another reason. You're also going to need a coach. A coach is someone like me. I'm going to educate you, I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to strategize with you for the best way to structure your deal, and I'm going to advise you on best practices. Because I am not about just making money in this business. I'm about building entrepreneurs so that they can be successful, so that they can build wealth and generational wealth and financial freedom for their families. That's what I'm about. You have to do this the right way. If you're not going to do it the right way, sign off right now and don't come back to my page ever again. Because I'm very adamant and I'm very into real estate. And as I don't know if you guys have heard me before, I say it all the time. I eat, sleep, breathe, sniff, smell, taste real estate 24 hours a day. I do it. This is what I do. This is what I love to do. This is how I take care of my family. And I help other people do the same. That is my connection to this business. That's what we're going to do. All right. All right. So that is the lender, the accountant, the coach, the general contractor, the real estate agent, and your attorney. You still got more people that you need on your team. You need an assistant, that right-hand person that's going to do the things that you need to do. They're going to do all the stuff that, in my case, I hate to do. I hate paperwork. My assistant does it. I hate keeping track of stuff. My assistant does it. Oh, don't get me wrong. I know everything that's going on. I know how to read it. I know how to create it. And I probably did create it and give it to my assistant. But the thing is, we work together. There is nothing. I would rather be out in these real estate streets, generating money, generating income, doing everything that I need to do, and have my assistant organizing my back end. So your assistant is going to create your lead sheet. They're going to keep your transactions on track. They're the ones that's going to be calling your attorney. And actually, they're going to be calling your attorney's assistant because he does the same thing. If something needs to be done or completed, your assistant's going to call you or the party that they need to get that information from and say, hey, I need this. Can you send it over to me right away so I can get it in our files? They're going to ensure that procedures and processes and laws are being followed. They are you. That is what your assistant does. You're also going to need a cold caller and a bird dog. Now, cold caller and bird dog, pretty much the same thing. They just scout properties. They do a lot of skip tracing. They drive for dollars. They scout for properties. They follow up on leads for you. They're the first line of negotiations. They're the entry into the house. They're the ones that are going to set up that appointment. They're the ones that's going to be sending out, hey, what's your schedule when are you seeing houses this week? Because I need to know your schedule. They have access to your schedule so they can schedule you to go out and see these properties. And like I said, a skip tracer. Now, skip tracer locates the seller, completes the lien searches, gives found searches to assistant. And everybody's like, why is there a crime scene investigator? Because that's what a skip tracer is. Skip tracer is an investigator. They find the person that doesn't want to be found. In collections, which is where I first came into contact with skip tracing, and as everybody knows, I was in collections for over 20 years, from 1994 to 2017. Yep, I've done it all as far as collections goes. My job was to find people who didn't want to be found. I was given a list of leads without numbers. My job was to find these people and find their numbers. How am I going to do that? I'm going to skip trace. I'm going to run, and the thing about skip tracing, I can do a whole class on skip tracing. I really can, and I probably will somewhere down the road. However, skip tracing is not an art form. It's just something you learn. The nosier you are, the better you skip trace. I'll say it again. The nosier you are, and I am pretty daggone nosy, the better you skip trace. It's nothing for me to want to find out, and I can have a lead and follow it right down the rabbit hole if I want. But I guarantee you I'll come up for air and I'll find whoever it is I'm looking for. So there are different ways. They will locate all the property owners. That's what a skip tracer does. And the skip tracer will then find the property owner, find the phone number, give it to the cold caller. The cold caller is going to set up the appointment. You're going to go on the appointment, and they're going to hand that information to you or your assistant. Now it's in your hands. That's how that goes. That's how that process works. So what we want to do in that case, you want to know what tools you're going to need to get started. Now, you have your team. You have the players of the game, you, the buyer, the seller. You pretty much got an idea of what you need to know. Here's what you need to complete the process. And then we're going to start getting into what needs to be said and done. What tools do you need to start? You need a computer, a tablet, or a phone. You don't actually need all three. If you have a computer, you need a phone. Oh, excuse me, I sneezed. Ooh. If you have I had a guy, I was in one of these Facebook groups the other day, one of these Facebook groups, and the guy says, can I wholesale if I don't have a computer? Here's what I don't understand. First of all, that question aggravated the hell out of me. Second of all, if you have a smartphone, you have a computer. I'm gonna say it again. If you have a smartphone, you have a computer. If you have a tablet, you have a computer. If you have a laptop, you have a computer. If you have a desktop, you have a computer. All you need is a phone, a smartphone if you don't have a computer, and a computer and a phone if you don't have a smartphone. You need to be trained properly. Understand your industry. Know your laws. There are some states in this country where you have to be licensed to wholesale. You better know what they are, because I'm telling you, this industry is getting regulated. Everything is getting revamped now that this shutdown is over. We're getting close to being over. They're talking about making a lot of changes because they saw a lot of infrastructures that were broken. So you guys better get your laws, know your laws, find your laws, research your laws for your state. Because if you are found breaking the law, well, first of all, you can do some jail time. Second of all, you're gonna get heavy fines. And third, you won't be able to practice your art form, your business. Your business gets shut down. Excuse me. Again, thank you. Now, you might need some apps. There's an app called Landglide. They give you a free trial. I don't know how, I think it's a 30-day trial they give you for free. And the most popular one is Deal Machine. Everybody's familiar with Deal Machine. You can literally be standing outside of somebody's house, hit the property outline on Deal Machine, and it'll pop up the owner's name, address, phone numbers, emails, everything. When they bought the house, how much they bought it for. I had one tell me where the freaking owner of the property worked. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with Deal Machine and Landglide. Landglide does the same thing, but Deal Machine is better in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm telling you, it does. I am going to do a tutorial video on Deal Machine because my network asked me to, so I'm going to do that. Systems. In order to be, one of your tools is your system. What order of business are you going to follow? And I'll give you an example. Here at Tag 716 Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo, what we do is this. We find our buyer. We contact the buyers. The buyers give us, if we're in a group and a buyer gives us their email address, we will email them. Hey, thank you for reaching out to us. We would like to know what type of property you're looking for. What city or state does this property have to be in? How many units? What's the square footage? How are you planning to pay for this? How soon are you looking to purchase? That's our order of business. We find the buyer, we make contact with the buyer, and then we qualify our buyer. Then we go out and find what they want us to find, because it doesn't make sense for me to find a 2-bedroom single family ranch when somebody's looking for a 4-bedroom duplex. Doesn't make sense. You got to make this make sense. Then you got to get all of your processes in order, and you need a very solid tracking system. If you do not have a tracking system in place for this business, you will lose a lot of money. The reason why you will lose a lot of money is because the money is in the follow-up. You're not going to close a deal every time you make contact with somebody. It might take you 2 or 3 conversations. You need to know who you need to contact, what was the last thing you said to them? How are things working? How are things going to progress? You need to know all that. So you have to have a solid tracking system in place. And that's basically all you need. A lot of people get into this business and they overthink the simplest thing. And I tell this to my network members a lot. You guys are overthinking this process. And if any of my network members are on this video right now, you can honestly vouch for me when I tell you guys all the time, stop overthinking this process. Yeah, and sometimes I think it's because we have so much stuff in our brains that we kind of get information overload, or what my cousin told me, analysis paralysis. Cynthia said, yep. Yeah, you overthink the process. This is a very simple process. And I'm telling you now, if you're new and you're not in my network, I'm going to give you the first thing I told my network. Write out your process. What do you do? Time block your day. I have every Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 time blocked to give an online Zoom lesson every day during the quarantine. And then we're going to switch it around and probably do some nights once the quarantine is lifted, because during the day I'll be doing something else from 1 to 2. But since I'm on lockdown, can't go anywhere, I decided to do lunch and learn. So you have to be flexible sometimes, as you can see, with your time, but you have to time block your day. I know from 5 to 8, Monday through Thursday, are my best calling times when there's no shutdown. But right now, everybody's home, whether they're working from home or they're stuck at home and not working, everybody is home. So you can call all day, Monday through Friday right now. I don't advise calling on Sundays. Sunday, I don't care if people sit home all week. Sunday is still family day. And I observe family day. And 90% of America observes family day. Weekends Sunday is out. Okay? Everybody becomes religious on Sunday. I don't care what religion they are. It's Sunday. You're going to hear that a lot. So I don't suggest you making phone calls on Sundays, okay? All right, let's see. Now we got our tools, we got our team. How do you find a motivated seller? Now, hit me if you have a hard time finding a motivated seller. Give me the me's. Nobody has a hard time. Okay, I was about to say, I know some people got a hard time finding motivated sellers, and I'm pretty sure Cynthia is not the only one that has a hard time finding a motivated seller. But here's where I'm going to tell you where you can find some motivated sellers. This is the short form. We have a longer list than this that we go into, but like I said, this is a mini boot camp. So we want to teach you how to find your sellers. Jackie says she's having a hard time finding that motivated seller. First thing I want you to do is, if you can, go to your Facebook page right now and say this: how many people would like to sell their home? You can put that right on your Facebook page and see how many people want to sell their house. You'd be surprised. I'm a real estate investor. I'm looking for people. I'm looking for properties. Tag somebody that's looking to sell a house. How many of you actually do that on your Facebook page? Give me the number one if you do that on your social media pages. You know, so go into Facebook Marketplace and read the comments on those properties that people have for sale. Guess what? Those people who've commented all want to buy a house. You want to look at the people who posted the sale. You want to look for the people who posted it. Who posted it? They're looking to sell a house. Go to Craigslist. All those people are looking to sell their house. All those people who post their houses on Craigslist for sale. Other wholesalers. Yeah, I said it. Other wholesalers are looking. They can't find, they have buyers and no properties. Or they might have a seller and you might have a buyer. JV, joint venture agreement, JV with them. Attorneys, real estate attorneys, divorce attorneys, bankruptcy attorneys, probate attorneys. Let me explain what these attorneys need from you. Somebody to buy these properties, because they have real estate people who come to them with their different issues. And then now all of a sudden, my real estate client, I have a client who, if I'm an attorney and I have a client who has 200 properties, my client goes to me, hey, I really need to sell 50 of these properties. You know anybody? You're going to think about you. I know somebody can get rid of those properties for you. Divorce attorneys. Hey, I got couples, they're divorcing. We got to sell their property. You know anybody? Bankruptcy. Oh my gosh, my clients are filing bankruptcy and the judge is making them sell their assets to pay off their debts. You know anybody looking to buy a house? Or do you know anybody looking to, can you help me get rid of this house? Probate attorneys. Hey, it's so sad. My client's died. He left the house to his kids. None of the kids want the house. You know anybody who's looking to buy a house? This is why you need to get in contact with these attorneys and see who they work with, what they do. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because I'm pretty sure you got to understand what I'm saying right now. Okay, you guys have to understand this is a process. This is where you're going to make your money. Your mouth is your money. And if your mouth is shut, you don't make any money. It's just that simple. You are your own advertising. So whatever you need, speak up. Closed mouths don't get fed. That's what my mama used to say. Anyway, you can also put up those bandit signs, those lovely, lovely bandit signs that I hate, because I don't use them. I've never used them. And that's probably because of where the area I am, there's so many. So I just don't even bother. I do other things. I do digital bandit signs. Like I'll put an ad on my Facebook page, or I'll, send out an ad and say, hey, I want to buy your house in a certain area. So you have bandit signs. Your real estate investment association networking events. I have one that I go to when I'm not on a shutdown once a month. And I hand out my card and I tell them what I do. And it just so happens I ended up being really good friends with the guy who runs the event. And he takes me around and introduces me to all the people with money who are looking to buy and sell. So you do that. You have friends that do that. You have friends that network, and they find you, and they respect what you do, and you're a good person, so they want to help you. Then you go sit in landlord-tenant court. We talked about this the other day. Go sit in landlord-tenant court and listen to all these frustrated landlords whose tenants aren't paying. Because I'm going to tell you like this, there's not one good landlord in this whole United States that is going to sell a profitable property. If you have a property and you have great tenants and they're living in the property and they're absolutely going to be working, you don't sell it. I did that before. Worst mistake of my life. I should have never sold that property. I should have kept it. I didn't have a mortgage. I had 2 great tenants. One was Section 8, got her money direct deposit in my account every month. And the other, he said he was moving out because he bought a house, but he was like clockwork. I never had a late payment from those 2. I sold it to do another project, a bigger project. That's why I sold it. But yeah, so that is the only reason a landlord will sell a property that's making them a cash flowing property, is because they are receiving, if any landlord is selling a property, I'm guaranteeing you the tenants are trash, or it's either the tenants are trash, there's too many repairs, they're not making any money on it, or they're trying to do another project. 9 times out of 10, it's the first one. The tenants are trash and I've got a lot of repairs. It's not making me any money. I've got a high mortgage and the tenants don't pay me, so I can't make it. This is about to happen all across this country after this shutdown order is lifted. Once the stay-at-home order is lifted, you guys are going to see a lot of landlords haven't gotten their rent because tenants misinterpreted you not being evicted to, I don't have to pay you. So go to landlord-tenant court and talk to a frustrated landlord. I guarantee you he wants to sell. And if it's not that property he wants to sell, he probably has others that he wants to sell. Housing court violations, same thing. Housing code violations court, same thing. Frustrated landlords, not enough money coming in, old dilapidated zombie houses that they got to go to court for, they will sell. So you want to always, always, always get on that list. Just take a day, sit down there. Now, how do I find buyers? Here's the funniest part about finding buyers. Same place you find sellers. Buyers and sellers are in the same place all the time. All the time. Your social media groups, you go in there and say, hey, I'm looking for cash buyers in this area. Say you live in Buffalo, New York, where I live. I'm looking for cash buyers, cash investors for Buffalo, New York. If you're interested, drop your email address. You should get plenty of responses. You should all be members of your real estate investment association groups on Facebook for your area and areas that you virtual wholesale in as well. Yes, both, all of them. Why not? I'm in all of mine. Right now, I'm in an REI group for Eugene, Oregon, and I live in Buffalo, New York. I've never been to Oregon. I don't know anything about it, but I guarantee you, if that person wanted me to find them a house, I'm going to find it for them. Pick up what I'm putting down. This is about money. This is about meeting a need, supply and demand, which is the basic premise of business. So wherever you're going to find your buyers, your sellers, you're going to find buyers, your social media groups, your Facebook marketplace, Craigslist, other wholesalers, the same exact place. Especially the REIA networking events. That is real estate investor associations. They are full of real estate investors. You should look up your local one for your area. You should become a member. It costs me $95 per year to be a member of my REIA here in Buffalo. And I'm telling you, one deal for $5,000 more than takes care of that $95 for the year. I get one deal for $2,500 and I've covered that. It's worth the money. So please, 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 and thank you, go into that. Now, the thing about buyers is you don't want to just find a buyer. You want to qualify your buyers. Now, qualifying a buyer takes time, skill, and again, your mouthpiece. So qualify a buyer. Ask for proof of funds. Here's the thing. If you are a new wholesaler, you've never worked with this buyer before. Why would you just go into a deal with them and not know if they have the money to pay you? I have a client, and I know he doesn't mind me talking about him. I'm not going to say his name, but I know he doesn't mind me talking about him. But I call him on the first of every month. He sends me a bank statement for his proof of funds for deals that we're going to do here in Buffalo. So that I don't have to, if I'm negotiating a deal, I don't have to ask for proof of funds if I'm negotiating a deal on his behalf. I already know what his criteria is. You get what I'm saying? I know he's looking for doubles. I know he's looking for a 5-unit apartment building right now. I know his formula by heart as to what he uses to calculate what's worth paying for him. I'm all about that. Make sure if they don't have cash, get a pre-approval of a loan or a line of credit. You have a right to ask for it because you are under contract as a wholesaler. You're under contract with a seller. So you need to know your deal is going to go through. Request the earnest money deposit, the EMD. Here's the request, the EMD, especially with your new buyers. Now, and I'll tell you a situation that just happened with me. I was under contract to purchase some properties. Mind you, I said properties from a guy who was in tax foreclosure. Okay. He and his attorney did not ask me for an earnest money deposit. So I lose nothing if this deal falls through. Good, good, good. Pat me on the back. Yay. But when I sold it, I asked my buyers for an EMD and they rightfully paid it. And I made sure they knew it was non-refundable. So guess what happens if the deal doesn't go through? I still get my assignment fee. That is why I say request the EMD. Now, once you've worked with a buyer for a long, long time, and you've done a couple of deals and you know how quality they are, you may not ask them for an EMD. The only time you're going to ask them for an EMD is if you're asked for an EMD. Okay? But you have to get paid for your time. So even if you say I want a $1,000 EMD, if the deal doesn't go through, you still get $1,000 out of it. So you You want something. You see what I'm saying? All right. Now, ask about their current holdings. How much do they have in real estate holdings? You want to ask these type of questions. How many doors do you currently have? How many properties do you have? Where are your properties located? Are they rented? Are you flipping? Are you Airbnb? What are you doing with these properties? How long have you been investing in real estate? You want to know this about you. You don't sit and interview your buyer. No, it's a general conversation. So what do you think you get on a monthly basis for rent in total? Does it sound like I'm interviewing? No, it sounds like I'm just asking a general question. And that's how you have to make this sound, like a conversation. Now, here's what happened to a friend of mine recently. Her deal started out as cash. And then in the middle of the deal, they want to flip it to financing. Then guess what happens when they do that? I want additional money now because now I have to wait. Now my seller has to wait. So I want additional finance. I want additional funds. You want to switch your method of payment from all cash to now financing, which means I have to go through an appraisal and I have to go through an inspection and everything else that I normally wouldn't go through with a cash buyer. So yeah, now I want additional funds. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? You understand that? You get paid. You should be getting paid no matter what. And my friend, she did this. She made sure her buyer decided to switch. And she goes, I want an additional $2,000. Because not only are you not going to close now by our closing date, because now you're extending the closing date, because you have to accommodate when your lender can send out an appraiser, when your lender can send out an inspections person. So you don't want to do that. And then if they are going to start, excuse me, wow. If they're going to start as a finance deal, because you do have 3 separate types of buyers. And that's something that everybody doesn't understand. You have a buyer who's flipping houses. You have the buyer who's building a landlord portfolio, and you have a buyer who's looking to live in a home. There's 3 different types of buyers. So you want to make sure that however they're going to finance, if they're going to finance that deal, is it hard money or is it traditional lending? I'm going to be honest with you, traditional lending takes longer than hard money. It absolutely does. Hard money loans can be done if you got a good lender within 3 weeks. You have to work with your lender. You have to be good about what you do. You have to be quick about what you do in order for stuff like that to happen. But I've seen hard money loans close in 2 weeks. I've seen them close in 3 weeks. Nothing, 2 weeks at least. So as long as you're doing what you're doing, you can get a loan closed. You can institute a penalty for not closing on time or for changing the way they purchase, which is what I said. If they're changing the way they purchase, they start off like cash, and then once they get cash, oh, now I want to finance this deal. Well, guess what? You want to finance it, then you need to pay me for my time, because now it's going to take me longer to close. And now I got to go abide by your appraisal and things like that. So you get it. Here's an idea. Ask for your minimum assignment fee as the EMD. So my minimum, and I tell everybody who talks to me this, I don't have a problem. I have a minimum of $5,000 per transaction. So yeah, for 2 houses, I'm going to get 10 grand. I want $5,000 per property. So if I'm getting $5,000 per property and you're buying 3 properties from me, you're giving me a $15,000 EMD. And I know this, and I did it because I did this to my buyer. Now my buyer is telling me he can't close. Guess what happens if he can't close? I get 15 grand still. My attorney's going to take his cut and do what he has to do over on that end, but I'm still going to get my money. I'll still walk away with at least $10,000. So, and now I can go to the next buyer and say, hey, do you want these houses? Because you couldn't close it. And I can still make another EMD on top of that. So be a smart wholesaler. Don't put yourself in a position where you're not going to make money. Anybody have any questions about qualifying your buyers or want to say anything? I see I got some people here from my network. I see Sean is on. Hey, Gladys, how you doing? And Jackie. So if you have any questions, guys, let me know. All right, so everybody understands how to qualify your buyer. If you cannot qualify your buyer or you don't understand anything about it, then we do have a checklist that you can download. If you hit the cover photo on our Facebook page, you can download the free copy of how to qualify your buyer's checklist. All right, so if you don't have it now, you can get it then. And that is it for today. That is how do I ask for the earnest money deposit confidently so that they don't turn and run? Well, Jackie, how you do that is you say it up front. Let me go back to that. You say it up front. So you say, hey, I have this deal. It requires, the price is this. They're asking this, this, say you have a $50,000 house. I have a requirement of a $50,000 house. They're asking for a $5,000 deposit. If you're doing cash, then we need to close within X amount of days. If you're doing financing, it's to close in X amount of days, or there's a penalty of this, 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 and this. If you list that up front, there's no question about what they have to do in order to be a buyer for that property. You get what I'm saying? So that's why you have to say it up front. It has to be in your advertising. When you're advertising your properties, say that you want $5,000 EMD. It requires. If you say that it requires, then you don't have a problem getting it. If you set that type of standard with your buyers beforehand, you have to set a standard up front. Because if you try to come back to a buyer later and say, oh, I'm sorry, it requires an EMD, they're going to look at you as if you're unprofessional. They're going to think you don't know what you're doing, and they're going to see a weakness. They're going to try and exploit that weakness all the time. This is how you can, by qualifying your buyers, you weed out other wholesalers who are just trying to daisy chain or JV your agreement. So that's how you do it. If you have a buyer who's asking, you have a buyer, he wants the property, this is what you have to do to get this property. This property is $50,000, it's an all cash deal. If you say all cash, no financing is required, is accepted. So it's all cash, $5,000 EMD, must close in 30 days. And if you put that up front, nobody can argue that. Any other questions regarding qualifying your buyers or anything like that? Oh, yeah, we got questions. Sorry. Do you have any examples of buyer agreements that show how the EMD assignment is written? Yes, Sean, you are a network member in the file section of our network Facebook group. We have an example of how that assignment is written. We have that. We have the assignment, we have a purchase agreement, and the assignment contract all there. It's right there. But how you're going to write it is simple. You're going to say, you wouldn't even say that, you just write it how you said it in your marketing ad is how you're going to put it on the contract. It is a non-refundable earnest money deposit. It will be held in escrow with, and you name your attorney or the title company that's going to hold it in escrow. Yep. Simple. So, any other questions regarding, yep, I'm sorry. We got questions. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you have any examples of buyer agreements that show how the EMD is, oh, nobody just read that. She's cool because this way you always get your assignment. Exactly. You always get your assignment fee if you ask for it up front and you make it non-refundable. If it is non-refundable, they can't argue with non-refundable. That's how you weed out the, how do you say, the men from the boys. If it's going to be assigned, if they're going to pay it, they may try to negotiate with you. Well, I really can't afford a $5,000 EMD. How about a $3,000 one for right now? Okay, as long as you're getting something. I'm not picky, but I'm also not a pushover. I'm not nasty, but I know not to be too nice with everybody. And we as wholesalers, we have to organize our businesses so that we stand for something. They already try to say wholesaling is the dirty word of real estate, when we're actually the ones that keep real estate going. Real estate in New York State right now is completely shut down. Wholesalers are still trying to sneak around and do work, even though we're not supposed to, but we're still doing things that we know we can do. And we're still making money. So you have to know which way this is going to go for you, or how you're going to be able to do this. All right. Did everybody learn something today? If you learned something, say, yes, I learned, yes, I learned, yes, I learned. And we are going to get ready to wrap this up. If you picked up what I was putting down today, please, please, please join us again tomorrow at 1 p.m. for our lunch and learn. Everybody is hitting me up with the yes, 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 and the thank you. Thank you, Susan. You're a new person to our group. I appreciate your time and energy in the group. And I want you to return. Please return. Tomorrow, we will be going over negotiations with the seller. Negotiations with the seller is what we will do tomorrow. I am going to say thank you for joining us today, as I do always, every day. If you want to follow us on our social media pages, you can hit us up on Facebook at Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo, Inc. On Instagram, for you Instagram lovers, and because I love me some Instagram too, tag.716, or you can view our videos on the YouTube channel. So if there's anything you missed today, because I have a tendency to talk fast sometimes and you might miss it, this video will be loaded to our YouTube channel tomorrow. So you can go and see it there. And that's tag 716. All of our videos from last week are there. Our videos from the week before are there. Our videos from today will be there as well. You can reach us on Twitter at tag 716_team. And our affiliate programs that we have available right now, I must say, our tag 716 wholesale network. We have a nationwide network of wholesalers. A lot of them are on this video right now with us, getting some additional knowledge. And we are out here in these nationwide real estate streets, finding properties for our investors and doing what we do. We have Tag 716 University, which our network members get free access to, where we have classes on all things real estate. Some of our reading materials are there, our ebooks are there. We have one-on-one coachings, and we also have special guests that are going to be joining us for some of our classes in the near and dear future. Our Lunch and Learn is on YouTube. These are the videos we load every day. If you can't reach us live on a Zoom at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can always go to YouTube and review the videos. Our Tag 716 Network and Mastermind Facebook group is for all businesses and business consulting, where a bunch of business masterminds get together, network, fellowship, and be great. We try that. Now, like I said, our Tag 716 University is going public. If you're interested in more wholesale coaching, DM your address to our Instagram page, tag.716, or inbox us at Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo, Inc. Facebook page. And we will send you the link to get started with the additional coaching on Facebook. Because we do have like I said, this is a mini boot camp. We're not even going as detailed as we would on our full-fledged boot camp. We literally go hard on the boot camp. So if you would like more wholesale coaching, give us a call, give us an update, give us a shout out. Tell everybody you know. Tell your mama, daddy, your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, your friends, and your families about Tag 716. Our Tag University, like I said, how this works is each network member, like I said, my network members get free access to this. Every month there are master classes, one-on-one consultations, Q&As, special guests. We are doing this live and sometimes pre-recorded, sometimes live, with the classes in our groups. And those videos and trainings and courses are uploaded to our Tag 716 University, where everybody can go. If you are not in the network, you will have to pay per view. Haha, isn't that cute? Pay-per-view. But you will have access to it indefinitely. If you were to pay for a course, you'd have access to it indefinitely. That's how that works. But that'll be out before the end of May. Tag 716 University. I'm in the process of organizing all of that for everyone right now. And of course, I've already asked through questions. If you have any other questions, please, please, please let us know. Where did that go? You don't have any other questions, we're going to say happy, happy day and be out.